That was easy.
Yeah, it was. What's up, friends, family, fans? Welcome back to Back 9 Bets, episode 18. Don't be silly. Bet Billy. We got a lot going on today. I love it. I love it. I love it. We pumped. We have to just up the energy levels again because it was a rough week again last week. A rough week again. Victor was not victorious. Came second. Brutal stuff. You know, we're being close. We're being close. Keep going. We keep going. It is what it is. Okay, got a little thing going on. Comment on the YouTube video. Yes, $20. Pick a bet, any bet, top 20, top 40, outright, first round leader, whatever you want. I'll place it for you if you're one of the lucky ones that I pick. One lucky person gets a $20 bet. I don't know why, but none of the comments were showing up last time, so let's try it again. I did have someone DM me so I could get their pick, and I put his bet in, and it was a non-winner. You know who you are, you can vouch. I'm not a crook, I promise. So we got a lot going on. We are at the Players this week. We are no longer at Bay Hill. Screw Bay Hill. We don't care about Bay Hill anymore. It's the Players, TPC Sawgrass. We have ourselves a few winners. We sure do. Hideki Matsuyama finished top 20 for us last week. Dead Heat Rules railed us. Pretty much lost money on that bet. The only person to cash was Victor Hovland. Brutal week for us. Brutal week. Anyway, we're moving on. We got some key stats, some key things we want to check out at this golf course. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. This is going to be the week, folks. This is going to be the week. We've been so close. It's time. It is Bruce Buffett time to do this. All right. So we had the chaos in 2020 with the Coco. So we won't even mention that. So we don't have 4 years worth of stats. We've got 3 years. But it doesn't really matter. It's pretty obvious that off the tee, you don't need, like, distance isn't going to be a major weapon here. It is not going to be a major weapon. It's accuracy, it's precision, it's chess. We're playing chess at TPC Sawgrass with golf balls. That's what we're doing. You're hitting your irons off the tee sometimes. You're hitting your irons from the fairway, obviously. And you got to putt lights out, and when you don't hit it in the water and you miss the green, you're going to be in a bunker or chipping from some sketchy tight lie. So 31% of the fraction of the pie goes to strokes gained approach, which, as always, is a big deal for us. And it's even more important this week because there's water everywhere. Everywhere. It's very similar to the Honda Classic at PGA National. And we want important strokes gained approach in our model. Then strokes gained putting, also important, but not nearly close. It's like close to tour average, but not as good. What the hell am I talking about? And then strokes gained around the green, also important. And like we said, accuracy off the tee, a bit more important than the driving distance. So that's what's going on there with the general settings. And then in our proximity ranges for the approaches, we've got this little range right here that has 38% of shots are coming from 125 to 175. 125 to 175, 38% of the shots. So 4 times out of 10, you're going to have pretty much a wedge in your hand. The pros hit their wedges like 160, 165. It's insane. I mean, maybe even further. Who knows? But this is the wedge range. May not be for most of us, but it is for them. So that's what I'm going to be calling it. 40% of the time that's happening. And then, we've got some nice either side of this. This is all going into our, whatchamacallits. So let's check out what's going on over here in the model. We've got our rankings, we've got our weightings, and we put on 15% just general approach, 2% last 24, and then as you can see, we got 7% of that proximity, and then just a little bit as well. I mean, I think that's like 2.7, so something like that, to total up 35% of total approach. Okay, then we've got 11% strokes gained around the green, 11% general putting. I listened to Andy Lack's show. I have zero idea what greens we're going to be using. So he said there's some hybrid mix of assortment of jelly tots and M&Ms and all sorts of things. We're just going to go with general good putters. If you can putt well on anything, you're in the mix here. We're just going to go with that. Birdie percentage, 10%. Got to make birdies. Scores have been in the teens for winners. Got to make birdies. There's lots of water. Don't make bogeys. So we got, not often do you have birdie percentage and bogey percentage in the same model. We got that. And then the 4 par 5s. They're the 4 of the 5 holes on this course that play under par. Par 5s are important. Yes, they are. Then we added 2% onto 2022 stats from last week. And it's at 23% for 2022. The last 24 rounds, 8%. Last 12 rounds, 2%. And then just a quick little chat about this. This 100% takes 85% of the stats, which is that whole little piece that I just showed you over here. This is the 85% of the stats, okay? So they take all of that, 85%. 5% official world golf ranking, because that's a good correlation for how well you can play, obviously. And then that gives you 90%. And then we take the last 24 rounds, 8%, last 12 rounds, 2%. Gives you a full, nice, clean 100% behind the back 9 bets over here. And then when we're taking our stats for the 85%, we're splitting it up into 77% from last year's season and then 23% for this year's season. And then each week, we jump 2% forward, take 2% off 2021. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Thought I'd just share that kind of stuff because I did have someone reach out and say that they enjoyed listening to the show and enjoyed some of the intricacies of the model. So I thought I would share that with you guys. That's what's going on there. We don't have a lot of driving. We just got a little bit off the tee, some recent off the tee, and then 6% good drives. That's what's cooking. That's what we're going with. Here's the model, folks. Here is the model. As always, we're going to shrink it up a little bit so that you can see some percentages until we get out of this range. And then I will move back into full zoom so we can get back 9 bets out of the way. Let's do this thing.
That was easy.
That wasn't easy. I had to go twice. Anyway, here is the model. Collin Morikawa sits atop the board. He is the best in the business. Okay. 10.7K on DraftKings, 21% owned. Going to be heavy. It's going to be heavy sledding in the DraftKings market. We got some serious percentages out there. We got a very loaded field. 46 of the top 50 in the world playing. It's going to be a fun time. Now, Collin, what do we love about Collin? Well, he's the best wedge player in the field. He's also the best approach player in the field. And guess what? He just gets it done. He's good drive percentages right over here. He's 4th in the field. So he's in the fairway, putting himself into a beautiful position to hit those glorious wedges. It's going to be rainy as heck this week. It's going to be windy, rainy. It's just going to be a lottery. Collin was an absolute thought for me to bet him outright at 16-1. I know it's a big number, but we've been big game hunting in the last 2 events, and Berger was 16 or 18, and Victor was, I think, 18 or 16, and they almost paid off. And I really wanted to go Collin 16. He's one, I kind of just go with the top golfer for the outright, but can't get to Collin there. I do have him in my farewell fiver in Breaking 100 on rotoballer.com. Go check that out. I tweeted it out earlier. The article for this week is out. It's pretty much what you're going to hear here, but in written form. So that's what's going on there. Collin is just a beautiful golfer across the board. A lot to say about him, but it's going to be so windy. It's going to be so crazy. I'm just chilling out at the top here. I think I'm going to literally start. I built a few lineups. We're going to start here with Cameron Smith at $9,400. Might sprinkle a little bit of Justin Thomas in at 13% ownership, which is really nice. Now, Jon Rahm is in the field. He's back. I think he's at like 12-1 on the betting market, which a lot of people are enjoying. Now, I have some things to say about Johnny Rahm. Yes, he has been playing incredible golf with his ball striking in the last few weeks. He's gaining insane amounts off the tee. He's gaining insane amounts with his irons. He's like literally a shot better than the next best person, Will Zalatoris, over the last little while, which is incredible. He's come from Riviera. He's come from Torrey, and he's come from Bay Hill. Those are big golf courses, long, lengthy, strong John Rahm type golf courses. He loves those. Hit that power fade down the left into the fairway, bang.
That was easy.
That's what Johnny does. I love this button. If it's lame, let me know. It is what it is. Now, what I do not like about John Rahm. Let's take a look here. This range with the wedges. John Rahm is not a very good wedge player. He hits the golf ball really hard. He hits it very aggressively. He swings really quick. He hits his long irons better than most people in the game. Obviously, look, you can't have the sixth best baseline in approach and the first, leading the field in last 24 rounds of approach. But yet when you put him with the wedge in his hand, he's really average, almost below average. I went and checked it out on the PGA website. Last week, after playing at Bay Hill, he, in the range 125 to 150, went backwards again. He's sitting he's like 160th from 125 to 150. His wedges are out of control. Like, he hits a few close, but at the golf course like this, he hasn't got his wedges under control. And I think that's going to be a problem. So that's already, his approach game is a little bit more nullified here by this particular range, which he's not very good at. And then you go to the 150 to 175, and it's not as bad, but he's still sitting at like 100th. It's not very good. So, like, he's 57th in the field if you add those two ranges together. There's 140 odd people in this field, peeps. So I just thought I'd share that with John Rahm. And then the thing that he does really well is he gains off the tee by absolutely dominating the distance. He's 14th in the field in distance, and that's where he gets his big gaining, booming drives from. Now he does have a good drive percentage, which is pretty good. However, the distance is his thing, so that's going to be knocked down. Like Colin, he can hit driver a lot more than John Rahm here. He's not going to be hitting at 300 plus yards. So John Rahm, distance, that's going to knock off his off the tee game a little more. So call it half a shot between the wedges and having to lay up in the fairway more, not being able to utilize his distance. And then you add his disgusting short game that is currently just a massive issue for him. I'm really pissed off at John Rahm because I had him over Rory McIlroy, and John Rahm missed a 10-inch putt last week and lost to Rory by one shot. So that's the kind of vibes we have here on Back Nine Bets. It hasn't been ideal. John Rahm is a definite fade for me, and that's my reasoning. I don't think this golf course suits him. He's in a really bad place. His wife is now pregnant with the second kid. It's going to be rainy. He's going to be miserable. The weather's going to be miserable. Just everything about it is going to be disastrous. So that's what I'm saying about John. Is he the best golfer in the world? Yes. At this golf course, I don't like how it fits his game. Justin Thomas, we'll play a little bit of Justin Thomas at the top. If he's going to be 13% owned, we're going to go there. We're going to go there if he's going to be 13% owned. I was wondering why I couldn't see this because I had hit it. JT 13% owned. 10-4 on DraftKings. Birdie making machine, avoids the bogeys. He's really good around the green. His last 24 rounds in approach has been fantastic. His good drive percentage is a little crappy. However, we know that he can get it around, Jay. He hits that 3-wood. He hits, that ropey draw that he likes to do. If the golf course is going to be a little softer, it might not be as effective. If it's not going to be running out that much, whatever. I think he's a great play. He's got great history here. Obviously, not a repeat winner ever in the history of the players. Maybe JT is the guy. He's got all the tools. He's immaculate from the 125 to 175 range, like Colin. He's second to Colin. So those two guys are like, they've all three in the last 24 rounds gained off the tee, one way or another. Yet the deciding factor, I think, is going to be their wedges. I really do. So we'll see what he can do. We'll see what he can do. Patrick Cantley. We don't really have much going on with Patrick. I don't like his current form with the irons. It's 40th in the field, which is not good at a course that you need to be playing well. Yes, he's got good scrambling. Yes, he avoids bogeys nicely. The bogey avoidance and the around the green game is essentially tied hand in hand. And he puts his ball in play off the tee a lot. So his irons just need to get together a little bit. From the wedge range, he's even worse than John Rahm, which is a big concern for me. However, Cantley seems to just deteriorate as the week goes on. He really gets himself off to good starts. Patrick Cantley, first round leader, 40-1. Patrick Cantley, first round leader, 40-1. He plays really well in the first round. I managed to get all the golf data into my spreadsheets now, so I have first round, second round, third round data available to myself, and I can see what's going on. And Patrick does wonderful things. Like every first round he's played this season has been, I think 4 of the 5 of them, he's gained 3.5 strokes on the field. So he just performs in the first round. As the week goes on, gets a little sketchy. That being said, Patrick Canty, first round leader, that's all we're doing. Next up, Cameron Smith. Yes, I love Cameron Smith. We are balls to the wall. 9.4K, 11% owned. Sign me up. I'll be starting a lot of my lineups with Cam Smith if Justin Thomas isn't in them. I love Cam Smith. Love his game here. The only issue is he's off the tee. It's like really the only yellow that is a concern for me. Now, his irons are good. He's really got his irons together lately. If he can play smart off the tee, just keep it in play. Go dominate with everything else that you do so well, bud. Go dominate. We have him as our first outright. 33 to zip. 33-1. Cameron Smith. Second W of the year. We got him at Tournament of Champions. I love Cameron Smith. We've also got him at plus 155 on FanDuel for a top 20 for a unit. Look at his recent form. It's been incredible. His irons, last 24 rounds, have been great. Cameron Smith, since June of 2021, has lost on approach in one event. It was the Sony Open, which he had most likely a ginormous hangover from the Tournament of Champions. It was the week after the Tournament of Champions, lost on approach that week. It's the only time he's lost on approach since June of last year. His irons are insane. His wedges are insane. He's 14th in the field with the wedges. He's 16th in the field around the green. Put him in a bunker. Put him in a freaking foxhole. Put him in a bush. Put him in a swamp. I don't care. If he has to strap on flippers and a snorkel, he'll hit it out from underneath the freaking 17th water. He's that good around the green. His putting is fantastic. When he putts lights out, he can win a tournament with his putter alone. Never mind the fact that he doesn't ever lose strokes with his irons. Par 5 scoring. Four par 5s on this golf course. He's the best on par 5s. Birdie making. Second. There is so much to like about his scoring stats, which are all byproducts of his fantastically, beautifully well-rounded game that's not off the tee. Keep the ball in play off the tee, Cameron Smith. You're going to see his name at the top of this leaderboard this weekend. I'm telling you now. Next up, Daniel Berger.
That was easy.
Was not easy at the Honda Classic, okay? We had him there. It was brutal. 5-shot lead squandered. But we're going back. We're glutton for punishment. We're a glutton for punishment here on Back 9 Bets. Daniel Berger, same thing as Cameron Smith, 33-1 to win this freaking golf tournament. Now, Daniel Berger's not as flashy as Cam. He's like that, he's like that redheaded stepsister that just stands next to the chick and she's like a 7.5, while Cam's got like the sexy mustache and the mullet and whatever, looking like a 9. But Daniel, he's an A+ student. He pays his taxes on time, does all the right stuff. So, what do we like about him? Well, he's a better iron player than Cam. Doesn't ever seem like it when you watch him. However, he's incredible. Absolutely incredible. He's better than Cam with the wedges. He's a better iron player. His irons are currently in incredible form. And he makes the third least amount of bogeys in the field. So, I think at the Honda, through the first 3 rounds, he'd made 1 bogey or 2 bogeys until freaking Sunday. So he can avoid disaster at the most difficult of golf courses. I think he's missed like 1 cut at the Players. Hasn't had a lot of impressive finishes at the Players though, although he's super consistent. I do think he's at a different level entering this year. His irons are just cooking. His driver, has been fantastic. He gains good drives. He's ranked 14th in that department. So there's so much to like. Around the green game, this stat is involving 2021 numbers. In 2022, he leads the PGA Tour in scrambling. So ignore that stat. He'd be even further up the board if we took away around the green game, because it would be insane how well he does on the model if you could just eliminate that. But that's not what we do here. We want a good solid baseline of our players, but since the year has started, he's been fantastic out of bunkers, around the green, just everything. So yes, Daniel Berger, outright leader, first round leader, 40-1 first round leader, and a top 20 at 175 on DraftKings. If he finishes top 20 at this tournament, it'll be his 4th top 20 in 5 starts this year. So there's a lot to like about Daniel. Guess what? The bogey avoidance is beautiful, but we are not going to him in DraftKings because 22% ownership is a little too crazy. We've got exposure on the betting market, on the betting side. We're going to leave him alone on DraftKings. I don't want to mess with 22% ownership. I was contemplating it for Colin, but with all this weather going on, I own guys. It's just like, I don't know. Who was it? Rob on The Approach. I tweeted out their show earlier. It's a great show if you're wanting to learn about DFS stuff. Go watch that. Him and Drew, they do fantastic stuff. They had Andy Lack on there today, I watched it today. It was yesterday. He said this course has got such slim margins for error that even like the very best, like all 10 of these guys at the top here, could be the very best iron players in the field. Okay. And if they have 1 or 2 bad shots, that's on like a Thursday or Friday, they could take triples on both those holes. And that's the tournament done. Like 2 bad shots can absolutely eject you out of the entire tournament. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot, like the variability of this golf course is going to be bizarre. So much rain's coming into the mix as well. It's going to just really be interesting. So I'm dodging a lot of high-owned guys. It's going to be that way. Even Daniel Berger, really like him, but we're going to move on. Scheffler, nothing really pops about his game other than the par 5 scoring, and he just pieces it together. His strokes gain totals 5th in the field. So that's what Scheffler's deal is. Not really touching him there. I mean, 6% owned. You can argue. If you like that kind of thing, go for it. I'm not necessarily in the mood to deal with Scheffler. We're kind of dodging a lot of these guys at the top just because I think that's the way to go. Unless your name is Justin Thomas and Cameron Smith. Next up, Victor Hovland as well. I thought I'd mention him a little bit. Broke our hearts last week. It is what it is. 10.1K on DraftKings, 13% owned. He's really good with his wedges. His irons are just on fire right now, and he's really good off the tee. He's good drives percentage. I mean, how many great drives did he hit down the stretch that he just couldn't capitalize on? I don't know what his deal was. He had a wedge into hole 15, I think. 156, and he hit it 100 or 159, and he hit it 186 yards. Like flew it 180 yards. It bounced maybe another 5. Like, how did you overclub by 20 yards? Into the bunker, couldn't get up and down. If you just like get on the green, you make your par there. And that was after a freaking 3-putt from like 25 feet. Just a disastrous stretch of golf for the man when it mattered most. It was hard to watch. It was disappointing. Sad stuff. Hideki Matsuyama missed like a million 4-foot putts. He's such a good ball striker. We thought, whatever. If the putter sucks, he's still going to strike the crap out of it. Made a great comeback on Sunday. Finished top T20 with like 5 other people. $20 returned 7. You don't even win anything. You lose $13. Welcome to the Hideki putting disaster show. That's what's going on there. So if you like his wedges, if you like his good drives gained, just his around the green game is pretty nifty. His putting sucks so very bad. When it sucks, it's like really, really bad. He missed so many 4-footers. I wanted to die. Webb Simpson, who knows what the heck's going on there? He's battling some injury that whatever. So a lot to like about the guy. Great course history, around the green game, great, good drives game, blah blah blah. He's probably hurt. Who knows? Let's just leave him alone. Scotty Scheffler. What do we do with Scotty? Just won his second freaking tournament in 3 starts. Unbelievable. Gotta love the guy. I mean, he's such a nice dude. What a great player. Holy cow. His irons have got really... He's been firing with his irons. I mean, he got up and down twice after looking like staring a bogey in the face both times. He hit it into the bushes and then like duffed it out into the thing. Had to lay up. He was hitting his 4th shot on a par 5 from across the water and then nailed a 6-footer. And then he had the other one where he hit into the crap again, couldn't get it done, flipping hits it from a million miles away, dodges the bunker by like a ball hair, and the next thing he's draining a 25-foot putt and Victor misses his. Just tough scenes in general. So I'm salty about it. It is what it is. It takes a lot to catch a winner. It is what it is. Next up, Sam Burns, one of the guys that we didn't bet last week. We didn't bet like 3 or 4 guys. They all finished inside the top 20. So we faded like 3 or 4 of them on the show. And guess what? They all finished inside the top 20. So the model knows what it's doing. Listen to the freaking model, Byron. You dumbass maniac. Okay. Sam Burns, plus 390 on on FanDuel when I grabbed it. I think it's dropped down to 240 now, plus 240 for a top 20. The model would still suggest betting it at plus 240. Plus 222 is what it suggests you don't. If it's 221, don't bet it. Anything more than that, full send. Now, I don't think the game suit his game. Like he's got the same iron problem as John Rahm. Very good with the irons. Recently hasn't been that great. He did nicely last week. Putted really well last week as well. But Sammy isn't a wedge guy. He's like on those long, hard courses like John. Power, long distance drives, hit the big shots, crush the 7-irons to like 20 feet, make the putts. That's Sam Burns' game. The wedges from 125 to 175. I don't know if he excels there. He's riding some good confidence from last week. The last time we saw him make a top 20, he went on a 7 top 20 run. So maybe he's getting some confidence back. Who knows? It's a big event. Typically hasn't done well at the big ones. Now, also 5% at $7,900. Absolutely going to Sam Burns this week. Makes a lot of birdies. 6th in the field in birdie or better average. Love that for DraftKings. Course history, garbage. Absolute garbage. It's okay. We're taking the risk. We're playing the player profile. We're not playing the player history. That's what we do here on Back 9 Bets. Whatever. It's a very volatile golf course, very volatile event. It is what it is. Par 5s, he crushes them. Bogey avoidance, obviously a little bit of an issue. Not like top tier stuff, but he's still pretty good at dodging the bogeys. Much better than Scotty Scheffler. which is going to be fun to watch how he goes around TPC Sawgrass, because there's a lot of water there, and he hits when he misses. He has big misses, Scotty. So we'll see what Sam Burns can do. Top 20 plus 390. That's what's cooking there. Louis, my South Afrikaans Commission, just got the full package. Also, look at this. Irons recently, wedges, not a very good wedge player. It's kind of interesting seeing this. You know, like you see these guys, Louis, Johnny, Patrick, and Sam, all just outside the top 50, top 55 in wedge game. Interesting, isn't it? So that's what's going on there. I mean, Louis fantastic around the green and putting. I mean, the guy is just a magician. So good short game. 8.7K, 12% owned. Have fun with Louis, you know, if you like him playing, but I'm not rolling there. Russell Henley. Russell Henley. We love Russell. We love Russell. What is there to love about Russell? He is on our outright card. He's our first round leader, and he is a top 20 bet. And guess what? He's going to be in DraftKings as well. There's a lot to like about Russell. And that, even my dog likes Russell. So Russell is one of the best iron players in the game. The wife is at conferences with school, so she can't handle the dogs. Apologies, guys. I took him for a long run. They still seem fired up today. So it is what it is. Russell's one of the best iron players in the game. So that's what's going on with Russell. I'm sorry. Apologies, folks. It's tough being a single dog dad at times. Okay. So Russell Henley, let's start again here. Got outrights, first round leaders, top 20. He is been so consistent lately. He has been inside the top 20 in 4 of his last 8 starts. He's the definition of just a repetitive golf swinging machine. He hits it in the fairway, good drives gains, 12th. Beautiful stuff. His approach game has been fantastic. Baseline, marvelous stuff. His last 24 rounds with the approach has been great. And he doesn't have length, so his wedges are like really, really good. At a short golf course, when you don't have to hit it long off the tee, hit it in the fairway, hit the wedges close. I made a comp to Wiley at the Sony, where Russell played extremely well. I know there's not as much water around the greens and stuff, but that doesn't necessarily matter that much for this guy. He's so very accurate in every department. He's putting, bit of a problem. I don't know if this is, I mean, according to Lack, it's not Bermuda greens, but if he putts like he did at Wiley, he's going to be in contention. And FanDuel hung 120 to 1 odds on him for a freaking outright. So we jumped on that right away. I think it's sitting at 80, which is still very high. Then we put in Russell's best rounds. If you split them into the 4, first round, second round, third round, fourth round, first round, like it just goes straight down like this. He does phenomenally in the first round. So we're going to have a first round leader ticket on Russell, 66 to 1. I'm trying to remember a whole bunch of stuff here. Russell Henley, that's outrights. No, this is FRL. We have a whole bunch of random guys in here. Russell's at 80 to 1. 80 to 1 for Russell. Love that. Patrick, love that. Berger, love that. We're going to get to the rest. So yes, and then a top 20 at plus 320 on FanDuel. I think it's still out there. Hasn't dropped like Burns. However, plus 320 is beautiful. There's also the top 40 at plus 130, which if you're not feeling that risky, roll with the plus money for a top 40. He's made every cut this season. So if he makes the cut this week, it's a good chance he finish inside the top 40. Hopefully he finish inside the top 20 for our sake. Everything about him is fantastic. Look at that bogey avoidance is 7th. Now, The birdie and par fives, a little bit of a problem. But if you take his game to a longer course, that's where it's going to suffer. At a shorter course like this, I think he's going to be safe and he's going to hit those wedges too close. 2-3 feet, knock it in for birdie. Let's move to the next hole. So I really like Russell Henley at this golf course. There's a lot to like about him. Fits his profile really nicely. Jordan Spieth, sneaky little play. At 9K, we're definitely going to roll with him in a few small lineups. Not a lot, but 3% owned is going to be Jordan Spieth. He is very similar in profile to Cameron Smith. Reckless off the tee, just like Cam. And his wedges are really nice. He hits his wedges really, really well. 12th in the field wedge-wise. Putts nicely. Gets around the green beautifully. Makes a lot of birdies. And he dominates the par fives. Bogey avoidance, bit of a problem for Jordan. Can get a little reckless. Sure can. However, hit the hybrids. Hit the 3 irons off the tee. 3 woods. Just get it in play. Geordie, please, brother. 9K, 3% owned. We like that over here.
That was easy.
Jordan Spieth, 3% owned. It's an ownership play. Ownership play. You know, nothing about his game screams like he's in great form right now, other than the fact that there's a few stats that can really help him shine if he gets it clicking this week. We know he can play well. Also, the biggest purse in players' history, 3.6 mil to the winner. Interesting stuff. Paul Casey. This plus 500 is still out there on FanDuel for a top 20. Paul Casey finished 9th here last year. If he gains on the greens, he's good to go. The rest of his game is awesome. Awesome. His putting has been catastrophic. Now, he lost a lot of strokes last week, so maybe he bounces back. I don't think, looking at his data golf stuff, I don't think he's lost like a lot of strokes putting back-to-back weeks. So if he can just keep it to like neutral, maybe even half a stroke, finish inside the top 20 for us. Look at his wedges. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the rest, it's not even like the strength of his game. He is much better. His wedges are good. They're 10th in the field. But the rest of his game is like fantastic with the irons. 3rd in baseline, 6th recently. Like he's just missing 5-footer after 5-footer for birdie. So hopefully you can get that together. Good drives gained, not bad. It is what it is. Not touching him in DraftKings at all. However, we are going to Big Tone. Definitely going to Big Tone. He's got a very similar situation to Paul. He isn't as accurate off the tee, but he's very strong, very powerful, hits his irons a long way. Hit those 3 irons into those spots, Tony. Checkers, chess, whatever you want to call it. Play strategic golf. Hit your wedges, which are 3rd in the field, behind JT and Colin. His wedges he's a really, really good wedge player. He's a really good iron player. He is. He's like really good in those departments. He gets around the green pretty niftily. It's his putting that him and Paul Casey have got like a red square here like you don't want to know. And then you throw Will Zalatoris into the mix, and then you got like the whole field surrounded in absolute. Poor Joaquin Neiman's got like the Walking Dead around him, yeah. Just catastrophic putting, just either side of him. Par fives dominates. Birdie or better. I mean, if you putt that badly and make that amount of birdies, if he just has a decent putting week, he's going to be in absolute contention. 1% owned, 85K. Absolutely worth a go there for Tony. Absolutely worth a go. So we'll see what we can do with Tony in FanDuel, leaning on his approach play. That's all we're really doing. The putter going to be a mystery, most likely not going to putt well, and we're probably going to not do well in the lineups that he's in. However, on the off chance he does, 99% of the field isn't going to have Tony. They're going to have 99 problems, and Tony ain't going to be one for us. Yes.
That was easy.
Tony Finau. DraftKings, let's go. 8.5K, 1% owned. Joaquin Neiman. Don't have much to say about Joaquin. Just, we're going to move on. Will Zalatoris. going to be 10% owned at 8.9K. One of the, I mean, so impressive with his irons. Had him for a top 20 last week. Putted so disgustingly bad on Friday and Sunday. Like, it's just so bad. I don't know how he putts so badly. It is what it is. We move on. Okay. I just thought I'd share Will's story. He's one of the best approach players. He's got a great course history. I think the reason I highlighted him is because I wanted to mention that we should definitely play him in Showdown. He has those, play him a little bit. When he has a bad putting day, so be it. But when he has a good putting day on one of the rounds, he's going to spike. He's gonna shoot really low. He's going to score you a lot of points. And it's not like in the same round he putts bad or putts well. It's like a day. He'll putt well on Thursday, then he putts like crap on Friday. He just does it. So that's what happens there. Seamus Powers let us down really badly last week. Him and Tringali, rough times. Rough times. Now, good drives gained, 27th in the field. It's been one random facet of his game that he's lost significant amounts of strokes in. And it hasn't been like irons. It's been off the tee, approach, around the green, putting. Like in his 3 missed cuts that he's had consecutively leading into the Players, it's been one big meltdown in one area of his game. The rest has been fine. Like in the previous 2 events before last week, he was gaining on approach again. So he lost approach last week. So I don't know. Like he's a really good approach player, but recently it seems like he's had some issues. Now, did he take some time off over the weekend, get his stuff together, come back? Let's hope so. Seamus has the quality of game that he can just really excel. He's so consistent, so effortless in just getting around the golf course. Around the green game, 7th. He's good around the greens. Bogey avoidance, he's like Daniel Berger, in my opinion. He's just like, he plods along. He doesn't do everything fantastic like Daniel. However, he can play really well. Like 28th with the wedges. Give me that. Please, Daniel. Par 5 scoring, 25th. Like, we're getting down the board now. So the numbers aren't going to be as great as they are at the top. $7,200, 4% owned. Yes. Daniel, Seamus Powers. All day. Give it to me, 4%, $7,200. A little bit of a risk. I'm not going to go big on him. Had him in 60% of my lineups last week. Did not have a good DraftKings week, needless to say. So it is what it is. I went a little balls to the wall with Seamus, and now I felt a little shameless, but it is what it is. We move on. Abraham Ansah, thought I'd bring him up a little bit. Off the tee, just super accurate. Wedges, super good. Bogey avoidance, fantastic stuff. $7,600, 11% owned. Other things, other people. Not Paul Casey. Russell Henley. That's my guy. Think what? Taylor Gooch, Corey Connors? No, we're not going to go there. Got Cameron Tringali in this range. We'll skip Ansah. I don't like those ownership numbers. Cameron Tringali, we'll get to him. But first, we're going to chat about Brooksy. A lot of people on Brooks this week giving me and a few other people some FOMOs. Recent approach, not ideal. His wedges are really not bad, considering his, I don't know. Bogey avoidance, big issue. If he gets a little reckless, can make some big numbers around here, Brooks. They say, putting, fantastic. Yeah, players have never lost strokes putting. But also, he's never dyed his hair blonde prior to this year. Lots of stuff about the man's not giving me good vibes. 8,600, 18% owned. It's like one of the highest owned guys in the field. So, can't say I'm in love with Brooks at all. Like, just everything about him. There's a few nice things about his game that I do like. He shows up to the majors. A lot of people are saying the biggest prize money in the world. Is he going to be? Is he going to be in that major form? I don't know. I'm just hoping he just take that 18%, miss the cut, Brooks. I'll be very happy. Very, very happy. We'll see. He hasn't been playing consistently good golf, so there's a good chance he has one of those bad rounds. Bad tournaments, Cool. Gooch and Corey Connors, if you like those guys, play them. There's not a lot wrong with their games. Very consistent, very accurate. Especially Connors off the tee. Gooch showing up with his irons nicely as well. And a much better around the green game than Corey, kind of putting them in the same exact ranking department, but at different, because of different things. Ownership percentage, 13%, not going there on either of those guys. We're going to go Cameron Tringali. Cameron Tringali should have known last week he was going to miss the cut because his last 8 starts have been miscut, T20, miscut, T20, miscut, T20, miscut, T20. Missed the cut last week. Good chance he goes T20 this week. It's insane. It's really insane how he's doing this little thing where he's just miscut T20. So Tringali 2% owned, $7,300, nice salary saver, plus 260 for a top 20. Yes, sign us up, plus 260 for a top 40. My bad, I'm lying to you. We're going to go there. I don't think we have him for a first round leader. No, we don't. If you like that kind of thing, sprinkle a bit of money on the first round. He's also really good in the first round. Plus 260 for a top 40, and we're going to go to him in DraftKings. Absolutely. Keegan Bradley was another guy that and Corey Connors and Keegan Bradley, the model suggested to bet T20 last week. We did not. Both of them finished inside the top 20. We smart. We smart over here on back nine bets. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go. Next up, Patton Kazaya, first round leader, top 40 and outright. Patton Kazaya. Top 40 plus 290. Had 3 of those this season already. We like it. What do we like the most about Pat? Decent approach game is firing. He's a decent putter when he wants to be. And he makes a lot of birdies. So $6,900, 2% owned. Patton Kazaya, he made the cut last week. Didn't finish that hot. Long golf course. Not necessarily the best. Not necessarily the best off the tee. So when it comes to distance. But what do I know? I'm not actually lying. He's just inaccurate. He doesn't hit a lot of fairways, but he hits it just off the fairway, I guess. So maybe his irons are good from the rough. I don't understand how his stat profile makes any sense here, but that's what's going on with Patton. First round leader, plus 120, and then I think he's at plus 240 for an outright. We're going to Patton. Long shot, dart. It is what it is. He's like one of the guys that is like, Keegan? There's no other guy in the $6,900 range until you get from Keegan to Patton. And with Keegan, you're getting an absolute ball striker. However, the putting with Keegan is disastrous. So 9%, 2% owned, $6,900 from Patton. Sign us up for that. First round leader, top 40, the whole shebang. Patton Kazaya is one of our guys this week. Emiliano Grillo as well. First round, he's an outright for us, and we're going to go to him in the $6,900 range. Absolutely. His good drive percentages is top 20. His general approach game is 16th, and he hits his wedges so nicely, so very nicely. Every time he's played at TPC Sawgrass, he's gained over 3.5 strokes on approach. 5 out of the last 6 times. Why? Because 40% of the time you're hitting a wedge at TPC Sawgrass, and guess what? He's the 6th best player in the field with a wedge in his hand. So that's what we like about Emiliano Grillo. Around the green game, very, very bad. Very, very bad. Just hold thumbs, cross your fingers, put just your pocket out, whatever you got to do for some good luck. Let's hope he can just survive. Survive around the greens. Because he hits so many greens with his irons, bogey avoidance isn't terrible. So we can go with that, and he makes a decent amount of birdies. Decent history here. Emiliano Grillo, first round leader in the 200s. We love it. And we're also going to be playing him in DraftKings. Sergio Garcia, quick. He gained 8.5 strokes, 8.8 strokes in round 1 last year. He plays really well on Thursdays for the most part. He dominates par fives. Fifth best in the field on the par fives. There's 4 of them on this course. If he can dominate them for one day on Thursday, putt kind of well, get his thing together at a course that he's actually a player's champion at, we'll see what he can do. What did we get him at, yeah? We got Sergio at 85-1. So for a first-round leader, sign us the hell up. I think Sergio is going to be fantastic for us. So that's what's cooking with Sergio. He went 5 under on 4 par 5s on Friday at Bay Hill. So he's capable of absolutely eagling and birdieing every par 5 out there. That's what we like about Sergio. I can't say we're going to do much else with him. Tom Hoagie, though, definitely going to go Hoagie. Love Tom Hoagie, 6% 7K. His irons of late have been phenomenal. He doesn't hit it a long way, but he hits it in the fairway kind of enough, and he's putted a lot better lately. So there's a lot about his game that's been improving. I think he was like 5 over or 6 over after round 1 at Bay Hill and clawed his way back to make the cut, and then I think sneak into the top 40. I don't know. I think he did really well at Bay Hill after being one of the last guys in the field after round 1. So he made a really good comeback. This course suits his game a lot better than Bay Hill. You know, he's a good wedge player. He's a really good wedge player. If you think back to Pebble, just knocking wedges to like 2 feet. He's really, really good with that. So we'll see what he can get up to. 7K, 6% owned. DraftKings, sign us up. That's what we like. And then, don't be silly, bet Billy. Yes. Billy Horschel, folks. He is first round leader and an outright ticket for us. He's wonderful. He's chasing some serious form of late. We've got Billy Horschel at 40-1. Okay. And then we've got him for a first round leader at 50-1. So Billy is playing really nicely in his last 24 rounds. His off the tee game in general is really good. His good drive percentage is really nice. We love to see that from Billy. However, look at this like baseline approach. Disgusting. When he plays badly with his irons, it's just disgustingly bad. It's atrocious. It's not good. Don't want to see it. However, even his last 24, not fantastic. But the last 2 events he's played in, he's gained over 5 strokes per event with his irons. 2 events in a row, just riding the hot irons. I mean, that's really impressive on the iron front. So he's got his game kind of like stuck together one way or another. As you can tell, 15% owned at 8.1K on DraftKings. Oopsie. There we go. Let's do that so you can see. But 15% owned at 8.1K. People like him. So we're going outright, going first round leader, not touching him at 15%. You know, if he plays well and wins the damn thing, we love it. So that's what's going on with Billy. Eric van Rooyen, another guy we like with the wedges, and his approach game is pretty nice. Does okay on the par 5s, and at $7,100, 1% owned. We're going to go there quickly in DraftKings. Russell Knox is one of my favorite guys, I think, this week. His irons have been fantastic, and he's just going to ball strike the crap out of it. If it's windy, if it's rainy, he's from Scotland. It's what they have over there. It's another day in paradise. So we'll see what Russell Knox can get up to. His bogey avoidance is fantastic. His putting is disastrous. That's what the problem with Russell Knox is his putting. But now, if the weather gets crappy, Knox gets happy. That's what we're going to go with for there. He's a wedge guru. You know, he's been hitting his irons really well lately, and now he's coming to a course where he hits wedges. So sign us up with Russell Knox. Bogey avoidance, beautiful. Let's see what he can do. And then, as always, Hank Lebioda, 6K, a nice flat 6, 2% owned. That 2% must be Sia Najad. I don't know, because I don't know if anyone else does like Hank like we do. And I probably like him because of Sia. So thank you for that. We can see what Hank gets up to. You know, he's got he doesn't have the distance off the tee. But when his irons can get popping and he can putt them in, he can play. So he made the cut at Riviera. We'll see what he can do. If he can just fire him up, let's ride, Hank. 6K. Worth a little sprinkle in DraftKings. Same goes for Lanto. Lanto has been playing some really nice golf lately. Can putt well, and his recent irons and approach, baseline, last 24, beautiful stuff. Tends to play not too bad here with a 37th ranked course history. So that's what's really nice about Lanto. Off the tee, bit of a problem, but he's not a bad iron player, and he can putt well when he wants to. 3% owned, 7K. Yep, a little bit of Lanto. And I believe we have one more person down here. No, we have a few more. Let's see. I do this all the time. There's always an R somewhere. Ches Reavy. Just quick little Ches. Super accurate. Approach play in general, very nice. And he's a good iron player. Putting, very volatile. We know that. $6,700. No ownership percentage available for him. So he's probably under 1%. But look at this. Look, he's in the fairway all the time. His approach play with the wedges, beautiful. So that's what we like about Ches. Quickly. And then Harry Higgs has got good course history here, apparently. But what I like about him is he always seems to show up at these big events. If we're going to classify this as like a major event, Harry Higgs just shows up. He showed up at the, I think at not Kapalua, at Kiowa. He played well there. When things get rough, when it gets windy, when it gets like tough, he just scrambles around. And he's not a bad wedge player. Putts nicely, and around the green game is okay. We've seen him like, I think, what was it at Riviera, hole like 2 bunker shots from far away. So there's lots of stuff to like about Harry. Just keep his shirt on. Then James Hahn, good drives, always in the fairway. Always in the fairway. Last little recent approach stats have been fantastic, and he's a nice wedge player. So there's a lot to like there. His bogey avoidance is beautiful, and he's a flat 6K. We'll sign him up. So I don't know, unless we're going with like JT up at the top. I don't know how often we're going to be going to these guys in the sixes, at flat sixes. But we're going to go to them a little bit because we like them. So embrace the chaos. Short little pop gun hitters do their thing. Lots going on. Excuse me. So yes, that's it for today. Follow the instructions in the thing. Go subscribe. Go let me know who your favorite bet is here in Back 9 Bets episode 18. Don't be silly. Bet Billy. I'll reach out to you with who I'm going to pop the 20 on. Good luck. If you're following any of these bets, do that. If you're not, even better luck to you. Probably going to do better than me. Really appreciate your guys. Go check out my Breaking 100 $100 article on Twitter or Rotoballer. That's out there. And go make somebody else's day fantastic. Tonight, tomorrow, whenever. Flippin'. Joe Ardoni, I really appreciate that. Great little tidbit you did earlier on your show. Saying, just be positive. Be good. The world's a disastrous place right now. There's a lot going on. Shine some unicorns. Pop some rainbows. You just be the change you want to see in the world. Just be great stuff. Make people smile. You never know what kind of a day they're having. You never know what on earth is going on in their life. So maybe just a nice smile at them changes their whole day, changes their whole life. Who the heck knows? If you're watching this, having a tough time, you're probably on a phone, things could be worse for you. They can definitely be better. Just throw some good karma out there and see what happens. So that's what's going on here. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Catch you next week, episode 19. We got a winner this week. It's happening. I know it. Cameron Smith, Daniel Berger, Patton Kazaya, Emiliano Grillo, Billy Horschel, and Russell Henley. Those are the winners. They're all 6 going to be in a playoff. One of them is going to win. That's how it's happening. All right, folks. Catch y'all later. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.